Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the Retail Horror Podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
I am so excited to do this. I've kind of dripped water on it on Instagram. People have kind of asked me about it, and we attempted to do this before, and we scrapped that one. So here we are again, and I am so excited to talk to you about what you do. So before we get into it, please introduce yourself and give everyone a little bit of background on you.
Sure. Hi, my name is Sara Stein. Before getting into the giftware industry, I had a public relations agency for 10 and a half years in Los Angeles, focusing on lifestyle brands and fashion, and sort of honed in on really what made interesting marketing. I segued from public relations into launching my own brand, not in fashion, but a giftware company called Sisters of Los Angeles, or So LA. And it celebrated all the things that I thought were amazing about Los Angeles, and not your traditional souvenirs, but really looking at sort of a modern version of that. And from there, it grew from Los Angeles to other cities and states. And ultimately in 2018, I ended up selling that company to another giftware company. And from there, I have gone on to help other people develop their own products for whether it's their retail stores or their businesses or their own personal use.
For one, before we get into that part, So LA was one of my favorite brands. I think I love the way you said that. It's their souvenirs, but in a modern twist, because I mean, everyone's been to the Grand Canyon or wherever, and they have 8,000 stupid fucking shot glasses. But your stuff was so modern, like the zip code glass is still my favorite. And then you did this whole Venice Beach group that I think Grow Venice brought in. A lot of people brought in, but it's like it was so well done, and I think that's always kind of stuck in my head. And so when you started doing this, people who have seen me on Instagram, I've talked about creating this brand we did it for the Brit, and we're doing it for Lucy's, and I am so excited to talk to you about it because I think that what we touched on last time is like, I think that it's the easiest way for you to create your own brand that like the people who are coming in, especially if you're in a tourist area, the people are coming into town, they would just want to bring something back, but also because it's cute. I mean, forget that it's like touristy, but it's actually cute. You want to use it.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. And also it's representing especially when you're shopping local and you're shopping small, you want to represent those retailers. Like you want to be able to say that, like, I went and bought my book, not on Amazon, but I bought it at my local bookstore, and look, I'm carrying it in my tote. There's things that, it can be meaningful for people to be able to sort of represent your brand, and not in a big Louis Vuitton way, but in a really personal and small business way.
So we will touch on the projects I've done with you so far, and then I want to get into kind of how you work with people, because it may seem like this big overwhelming thing, and it's really not. You make it so easy, and the way you lay it out. I had said this before, is that what I really wanted to do with Lucy's was create their own pop-up shop, and not just like a t-shirt, a bag, or a mug. Like I really wanted like a handful of items that I could put in its own little space. And when you looked at it, there was a color thread throughout that created that pop of color, that created that continuity. So Lucy's has 3 colors: turquoise, orange, and yellow. And I sent you all the artwork, and you put together this amazing curation of this collection, and we're starting to get a little bit of it now. We did it for the Brit. We did their seat cushions, because the seats that they have are incredibly uncomfortable. We did a tote, which looks like the LL Bean. It's a great basic. It's like a big, because they already had a little tote, and like, I don't know what, even those little flat square one, I don't know what the fuck people carry in those things, because they're so small. But this is like flat bottomed, big, industrial, like heavyweight. I think you said it's almost the same weight as the LL Bean.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a heavyweight bag. And the beautiful thing with that is it's also great, like, marketing for your brand and your retail or your venue, because as people are carrying it around town, then, it's also like, oh my gosh, I want one of those. Where did you get that? Or tell me about the Brit. Where is that? And it's an opportunity for people to learn more about your business. We also did a really fun picnic blanket, so people who are
That was
going to
amazing.
the spot. And also, when you're talking about a venue and you're serving, bottles of wine that you can't have glass going through your project, your space, we also did a branded water vessel. I mean, excuse me, that you could actually pour your wine
Yeah.
into, and then you could take it home with you after the fact and use it as a water bottle. So there's all sorts of interesting things that can be done that really translates for use within the property and then outside the property as
And
well.
it's really important also for me, like that the costs that we had, that there's a good profit margin built in. And it also doesn't make it so expensive because let's be honest, like if you're going to the Brit, which is this outdoor venue, which is like it's like a mini Greek. It is an amazing, it's built into the mountains here in Jacksonville, Oregon. It is just the most magical place. And they have so many bands. Like Pink Martini played last year, Buena Vista Social Club played last year, Chicago came. I mean, it was like it was an amazing. So all these people converge on this little tiny town. And I really wanted to be like these instant gratification, like you're here on vacation to see a band. I want to bring something home from my dog sitter, my babysitter, or whatever. And I want something that I could reuse. So the blanket was the best. I don't think either of us realized it had a plastic bottom. So when it came into, which is what I originally wanted. So because half of the venue is seating and half of it is lawn. So for those who didn't bring a blanket, because a lot of people who live here go to this, have season tickets. But if you don't live here, there's only so much stuff you're going to drag with you across country to go see a band. So it's like this perfect little blanket to set up, have picnic. And the wine bottles, they have them in two places. They have them in the merch shop, and then they have them up at the food venue place. So the guy that's pouring wine and beer, you don't have to, you can buy your bottles at two different places, which I thought was brilliant that they double expose them. And I can't wait to find out because the season just started. So I haven't had a chance to see what sell through is, but it was the perfect thing for perfect price point, perfect items for people to come into town and like pick up these items. For Lucy's, we did 3 colors of hats. We're doing mugs. We haven't nailed down the water balls yet. The fans, okay, the fans, you guys, I'm just going to say this right now. Everyone who has gone to the gift show and has purchased with Harper and Kina, they have, I forget the fans brand. It's from Italy. And they are these amazing fans that say, fuck, I'm hot, or I'm like, whatever it is. But the sell-through I've had with those at Lucy's, I wanted one for my stores, and I wanted it because it is bloody hot in they're in Arizona, and it's like the easiest gift. And you open it up, and it's like a big Lucy's logo. I wish I had one in front of me that I don't have the actual samples there at the stores, but this is the most fun project, and I'm dripping water. I'm not releasing all of it. I'm having them put a little bit of it out, but when we roll it out, when I go back in September, I'm going to literally create a Lucy's pop-up shop with it. And because the way you lay it out, and you'll have to talk more about how you do this, the way you lay it out for people is that it looks like a pop-up shop, and you can see the cohesiveness when you look at it. And it's not just a single color item, the way you kind of mix it up. So talk a little bit about how because you're basically, I come to you and say, I want these items, and then you go in and you're curating it.
Exactly. And I do a little dive into, where the brand lives, what it looks like, the different colors that are happening within each of the venues and things like that. And then we're able to sort of pull together a curated look. So what I did for my own brand, I'm essentially, trying to do and be helpful in doing it for other people. It's like Christmas to me. So, and when somebody comes to me like yourself and you say, you know what, I'm interested in these like 6 items, then what I do is I do some research. I take a look at what the brand looks like, where it lives, like who the customer is, and then I start pulling together products essentially. I have access to this amazing database base of both manufacturers, domestic as well as outside, and decorators or suppliers. So there's different layers to this. And then I just start pulling it together like you would on a vision board, like pulling together ideas and images, seeing what works, what doesn't, what the coloring offerings are, and things like that. So, it can be as vast or as small and tight as somebody wants. There's a lot more to sort of creating branded merchandise than just putting a logo on something.
Thank you.
There's a lot more out there than you think is available to you. I mean, again, like I said, it's like Christmas to me. Like when I start diving in for a client and coming up with the creative side of it and finding and discovering different products that are going to be right for that particular person or business. It's exciting. And sometimes you don't know, and it's changing all the time. What is available, what's at the marketplace. And also, the minimums aren't always crazy. They're not as scary as they used to be. You think you have to order, 500 of something. You don't have to. I mean, it can be as small as singles, and it can be, but we're looking like at sometimes 24s or 72s. Sometimes it's more than that, depending. It can go overseas if you have the time and you want to wait for your product to come in. There's certainly that as an opportunity. But it's just not what you think. It's not, slap a logo on to a t-shirt and, call it a day. There's more to it than that.
Yeah, I want to talk to that for a second because I know that was one of the comments I had gotten back. Like they just took the logo and put it. I'm like, no, you have no idea what goes into this, because the other part too is a lot of like I had said, for me, I really want to try and keep things sourced in the States because the whole tariff shit is still it's still unknown. And, I've done a little of my own China, and it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to follow it. It's a pain in the ass with sampling. It's so much easier to go through someone like you. And, the numbers that you were getting back, it was like, we could do 50, we could do 100, because I think you're right. I think a lot of people are really afraid of that. So when you're thinking about like just slapping a label on it, it's not just that. These are the options. And then if it is sourced in the States, one thing that came up that is something worth mentioning is that when the tariff shit happened and everything went crazy, a lot of manufacturers who source their products from China brought it all in bulk, knowing that the numbers were going to be up, down, up, down. So they've held on to this stock for the last 2 years since this started. So their stock is starting to dwindle, and they're still not really bringing, like Kurt Adler, who's one of the holiday producers. Kurt Adler's like, we're not bringing in any more into China now until we know exactly what's going on. Manufacturers, this is just the reality. They're not pulling more product from China because they have no idea how it's going to change their number before it gets to you guys. So we would see something, it was like, oh, I love that. Okay, that now it's not available in that color. And then it's like back to the drawing board. Or the other one was like the logo that I wanted, wasn't right for the pocket of this bag, because it's the Lucy's label has a lady. And some of it with the lady on it it was too big. It was there, it's not what it seems like, this simple little process. But when it's right, man, you got it so dialed in for Lucy. So we have a combination of the Lucy is just the logo, and then we have a combination of the logo and the lady. And it adds to, I feel like, the cohesiveness. So everything doesn't look the same, but when you look at it, it looks like one branded group of product.
I'm super excited to see the hats come in. I think that's going to be so much fun.
So am I.
Yeah.
It's all of it. I can't wait to see it come in. Like the girls love the bags. I haven't seen the actual physical bags, but the girls love the bags. So I can't wait to see all of it. And I really, to be honest, because when I put the Brit together, when it's all merchandise together and logos are front facing and it's all the folds are perfect. That's what I wanted. And when it laid out, even with their original product that they had from the season before, and then this new interjection of product, it just made this like amazing little pop-up shop. And to me, that's the cohesiveness. And to me, that's what gets people like, what is that? It's like, it looks so good. And it does kind of look like a vision board the way you laid it out for me, like showing me these are the samples, this is what I'm suggesting. It does kind of feel like a vision board.
Well, and I was at, speaking of Brit, I was looking around at some things having to do with musical symbols and things like that. And I found some product that I've already mocked up that I'll send over to you that's super fun and cute
That's
and
great.
at a really like grab and go price point, like really fun. So I'm
That's
excited
great.
about that. Yeah.
You'd sent me, because that one of the things that's cool too is that if you guys go out and see, like Sarah sent me a screen or shot, sent me a shot of Starbucks has these really cute stickers and they're in a little sticker pack, and she sent me that, like she can do that. So I want to do that for Lucy's too, is these little sticker packs. And like, I mean, it's really like, again, think about it as a pop-up shop. Like you don't have to have 10,000 of the same things. For me, I'm doing 2 sizes of bags. I'm doing 3 colors of hats. We're doing water bottles, coffee mugs. We're doing, what else are we doing?
We're working on mini totes.
We need
We
to
are let's see. All of a sudden my brain went completely blank. I can actually look.
couple other things we're doing. Oh, the fan. But
Oh, the fans. That's right. The fans. Yeah.
ideally, this is something that you keep adding, or you interchange items in and out, because you're not
Yeah.
dealing with like, I have to bring in 1,000 of these. Like you
Yeah.
could do these water bottles. And again, like I talk about this all the time, is like creating that scarcity. And like, we're only doing this mug for, it's like almost like a limited series. Like we're only doing this for this long. And then you bring something else in. And it's like a constant rotating group of product for your pop-up shop.
I can't wait to see pictures of the cozies too. The
The
drink
koozies
cozies
are
with the
so
pop.
cute. We did 2 sizes. One's a regular can, and then Jerry, one of the partners, like, we need one that fits
The slim
slim
cans. Yeah.
drinks. But it was he wanted it for, what's the stupid, I call it white girl drunk, White Claws.
Oh, White Claws. Yeah.
So what though, there's a White Claw one and there's a regular one, but it has a little pocket in the front. And what we're going to do is I want to show those as this is how we're presenting gift cards. So they're at the cash register. Yeah, because a gift card fits in that little pocket
That's so
perfectly.
cute. That's such a great idea because it's like a credit card driver's license size. That's
Yeah.
amazing idea.
So that's how we're going to do those little. They'll still be, so we'll have them double exposed, but they'll, for now, they're making their appearance at all the stores at the cash registers. Talk about who are some of the other people that you don't have to name names, but what are some of the other items that you're creating for people that are super fun?
Well, I do, I mean, I've done food items, which, and then, yeah, it's fun. And I think I've sent you some images for mints and things like that. People love things because it's something that not only the packaging serves a purpose after the fact, like you put all of your, it's a great for a little pill case and things of that nature. I've done cookies, where cookies have, they come in actually, in special gift boxes and things like that. And with your own branding and marketing on that, packages of nuts and all sorts of things like that is another really great one that we're working on. All of a sudden, let's see, a lot of tote bags. I will be really honest with you. The bag seems to be a really great go-to thing for people and there's for such a big variety of them as well.
Yeah.
Kits are also really wonderful, like a little sewing kit if you're a fashion brand. And it's a great way to say, we want you to repair the clothes. We don't, if you damage something of yours, you don't have to toss it. You can reuse it or fix it. And so we did some really great little sewing kits that we send out as well.
Because a lot of people use this as promo gifts, like, well, like a holiday, they'll send these items, but I'm taking what would be usually as these
Mhm.
giveaway items or promotional items, I'm turning them into actual physical
Retail.
products,
Yeah.
retail that we're selling.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason when we first started talking about that, I was like, oh my God, forget the promo part. Like, I mean, because you can do all these and give things
Yeah.
away and for
Yeah.
holiday and whatnot. But for me, I'm like, the what you can create for your own store that is your product, that is your markup, your profit margin, like where you're not competing with people, that it becomes like something that is marketing, that's walking down the street where people see. That's, to me, was really what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, and again, when we launched Sisters of Los Angeles, essentially it was looking that as a brand, Los Angeles as a brand, and actually creating, retail products representing that brand. And so that's why it translates so well for retailers, as well as businesses that are either, a lot of them are selling their merchandise online as well. The bigger businesses,
Mhm.
they're actually they have their swag and they actually have it on their sites. Music venues is a great one for that. Matches, lighters. It
Love
sounds
match.
so like I love matches too. Anything that starts a good fire. I mean, there's really kind of endless these days what you can do as opposed to what you perceive is available to you. And you can go pretty deep with regards to development for these things as well.
Well, like one of the things we talked about, because you had just come back from the show last time, and you guys, you and somebody else were talking about these big soap bars, and you were talking about all these pens. And it's like everyone who buys the
Yeah.
Darling Effect, and I forget the other brand's name, but does all these super cute pen kits. Like you could create your own pen kits, like where there's
Oh,
4 or 5 colors in the
oh,
cello
I
bag.
Yeah, and that's actually the same company that did the cozies.
Okay.
And they have their product, and you can pick your tips, you can pick the barrels, you can pick your font, you can put your logo, you can do your packaging. I mean, it's like with that company as well, and you'll see in the presentation I just sent over, you can pick your zippers, you can pick the picture, the tab colors, you can I mean, the webbing, what your color of your strap,
Yeah, that was
all
the other
these
thing
things.
you brought. There was the everyone's doing the phone holders, like the little chainmail, like crossbody as well as, and you sent over wristless ones with that really cool webbing, and then the little banding that stops where the hardware starts. The little banding had like a Lucy's on it, like you can really get down to the
Oh,
minutia.
absolutely. There's some amazing companies out there that are doing incredible things. But I love that you can sort of some of these companies you can build your products. You can build them from like you can literally put together the materials you're using, and you can do some amazing things with wraparound print. The same cozy company,
Like,
you can literally you can do that, but you can do it on bags and all sorts of interesting other things as well. So it's not limited. You're not limited as much to what the actual shape is. There's some really interesting applications. And same with apparel. There's some really interesting things that you can do with apparel too. I apologize. I must let my dog outside for 2 seconds. He's barking at me. Dodger. Hang on. Sorry about that.
it's okay. I'm waiting to see if my dog walker's coming myself. And
Um,
not sure she is coming around. Um, sorry.
So one of the things, and you brought this up when I sent you the photos from the Starbucks, one of the things that happens when you're sitting at if you're sitting and you're checking out and you're like, paying for your, food, whatever, you have right there becomes an amazing grab and go opportunity
Yep.
to be able to, oh my gosh, like I need this bumper sticker or I need these stickers, like it with these slogans, whatever it is, there's such a great, like, you've got a display right there and people are waiting in line, and it's just the perfect time to be able to capture that audience and add something onto your purchase.
It's the Sephora effect. Lucy's, the way that you walk up, you walk into basically an aisle that you're standing to get in line to order your food. And along that whole aisle, there's sandwiches and pre-made salads and stuff like that. And ultimately you end up at the cash wrap where you place your order. But I've created like shopping moments along the way just for that exact reason. But like the sticker thing, what I liked, because you can do stickers, which is great. But what I liked is that it was 3 different stickers in one pack. So it wasn't all these goddamn loose, because I'm sorry, we sell stickers at some of my stores, and it's like, they all end up in this big mess. And it's like, these are like in a package that are like three to a pack, and the packaging's amazing. I mean, like all of it. And I think that if you can think outside of the box, but so when people contact you, we'll talk about how it looks to work with you. Do you suggest having some kind of an idea of what you want to do when they meet with you, or talk about take us through what it looks like to work with you?
Well, and I have people cold call me through my website. Like people set up a time to talk with me and brainstorm with me. And essentially, I mean, some people know what they want. Some people are very, very clear. And some people are like, I'm not exactly sure. I'm an artist, and I not only do I want to sell my one-of-a-kind pieces, but I'd love to have other things to go along with it, whether it's journals or notebooks. But some of it is that moment of discovery. So let's have a brainstorm. Let's talk about it. If great. But maybe I can also give you some ideas that you hadn't even thought about because you didn't even know those were possible. So it's really up to the individual and what that person's needs are. I'm not a scary person, so and I like brainstorming, and I like feedback, and I love to hear what people's goals are, and some of it is, what do you want to do with this merchandise? Do you want to sell it online? Do you want to have it in your store? Like, where is this merchandise going to live?
Yeah.
And do you also want to use it as a marketing opportunity? Like, so essentially, people either come to me through amazing people like you, or people cold call me, or I get a lot of referrals. And it's just a matter of one size does not fit all. What one client needs, and sometimes we have amazing brainstorming and people are like, you know what, I'm going to put this on the back burner and I'm going to come back to you. I mean, like there's an author that I'm working with who wants to do a book bag to go with the book that he's coming out with. And he put it on the back burner for a little bit. And then, 6 months later, you pick up the phone and you get that call. So some of it is, that exploration and that discovery and seeing what's going to be the right fit. Because the last thing I want for somebody to do is overcommit and bring in something into their store or bring in something into their business that they're not ready for. And so some of it is to do it correctly. And to do it with a lot of thoughtfulness.
So once you guys meet, what does it look like after that? So what's the next step? What
happens is, I go away and I sit down at my laptop and I start digging. And then exactly what you've experienced, I hope it's been a really positive experience, is I put together ideas, and sometimes I will trickle some things in between and say, is this something that might work for you? And I'll send a text and a screenshot. But for the most part, I love to be able to make a presentation to people and be able to say, hey, here's a full complete collection. You can pick and choose, and it gives people an opportunity to sort of see it in its full breadth, which I think can be inspiring for people.
I think it's better to see it honestly as a collection, much like the people that are listening to this are buyers. You go to the show, you see the entire collection of something. It's much more impressive when you see it all together versus like one item by itself, like coming soon. There's more. It's like, You want to see all of it. And that's what I loved is that like I'm setting you up with Chozu, who's one of my accounts here in Ashland. It's this amazing day spa that it looks like a tiny 10,000 waves in Santa Fe. And she doesn't have her own product yet. And they're a tea bar as well as the day spa. And I asked Eileen, the owner, like, what are some of the items you want? And I sent you the list, and then you go off and do your thing. And what was great is you give me or the person 2 or 3 choices that will have 2 or 3 different price points, that have 2 or 3 different minimum quantities. And then you start there. And then it's like process of elimination. And then once you get it down, dialed in, then you send me back another sheet of these are all of your items that are going to be ordered. And this is what it looks like all together. And that, I think all of us who are visual, it really helps to see everything. And again, like the quantities aren't scary at all. Cause I remember from when I had Sweet XO, we sourced bags from China, and it was somebody's home. I mean, I made bags for the Retail Whore podcast, and I made mugs from the Retail Whore for the Retail Whore. I can't even tell you, and they fucking moved here with me. It's like, I must have 30 boxes of bags and mugs. And at the point, it's like, what? Number one, what was I thinking? Like, why did I do this? But anyway,
and to be honest, I mean, there's been times where, I've looked in my resources and, and I'm looking for the best price point. And I will go also because, I do print on demand for people as well. People who want to trickle their product in, and they don't necessarily they need a range of sizes, and they don't want to buy, 150. And, I mean, what's available in that world as well is pretty amazing, where you can order as need be, which is kind of an amazing thing as well.
Does that end up being more expensive, the print on demand? Because I know there's a lot, like there was a girl that came and spoke to, there was an event I went to, and it was all about startup companies in the gift industry. And she had this business where it was all t-shirts, whatever, that was all print on demand. And I was like, how long is the wait? And how, like, what's the cost difference between ordering a lot and just single units?
Well, when I was working on the presentation for Chozu, I was looking at, the t-shirts within my database, and then, with the print on demand businesses that I use. And the price points actually were better at my print on demand.
Oh.
And I love the fact that you can actually drop in your own labels. You can drop in, multiple print places. There's all sorts of things that you can do to make it really your product, your label, which I think is really, an amazing thing. Where you're not branding somebody else's product.
Yeah, that's a peeve. Like, or the tag inside says everyone knows Bella, whatever the name, the brand, Bella,
Yep.
whatever. Like every fucking brand, like blank is that, and you have that tag, and then the brand's T-shirt in the front. It's like that is a peeve to me. I don't know why, but but you can have your own tag inside, so it looks like yours.
Yeah. You can have it screen printed with your branding and the sizing and the care instructions and all of that. Like it goes right on the inside of the back of your shirt, and you're good to go. And I have to tell you, I mean, the pricing is competitive. I mean, it's super competitive.
Crazy to me. That's surprising, honestly. Because it just seems like one item. Like I know what it takes to screen print stuff, and it's like that.
You have your setup. You have your setup, and once you've set it up, but I also, because I have membership, like when you work with print on demand companies, you can go the cheapest way possible, which is you have no membership, or you can actually have a membership with them. Because I do a lot of different smaller projects for people as well. I mean, if somebody wants, their art put on, on products, that's something that I can do for them as well. And I think, and I just did a project with an old customer of mine, this amazing shop in Oklahoma City that I love. And you know what? she didn't want to put her name on the product. She had an idea that for a product that she knows resonates with her customers, and she wanted the art. So I developed that art for her, and I put that on the product for her as well. So she has her own exclusive, which is
I
something that's
love that.
really cool.
I think I mean I think about like if you're an artist or even just like words, like I think about like I think it's Drew's in New York that has them. They're like super cute. They're beanies and they're t-shirts, and they say like ketchup and mustard and like all these, like for the summer they do all these like summer condiments, and then winter it goes into hot cocoa, and like you could do your own t-shirt line like that of just like, you know, cute names, butter, because everyone and their brother is all over butter right now. I mean, how cute would that be to do your own t-shirt butter? And because you have some graphic
Mhm.
expertise. I'm not going to over elaborate, but you're a very good graphic artist. So if you look at your line, so that you can actually help somebody has an idea. I mean, I think it's, you know, it really gets down to collaborating with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and what you're describing in the t-shirt, Baskin and Robbins did a line of t-shirts too that was like a pink t-shirt that says strawberry and a chocolate t-shirt that
With
says
Haagen-Dazs,
chocolate.
because I
And
worked
it was
there.
and it was so genius and so like just beautifully simple.
They
Um,
they actually knocked off Haagen-Dazs because I worked at Haagen-Dazs when they
okay.
gave those out. I was 16, and like it was a chocolate colored t-shirt that said in black writing coffee chip, and then it was a white t-shirt with I think chocolate color print that was for the vanilla almond. I mean, like a purple, I forget, but they were the cutest t-shirts, and they were so like they were like collectible, and I still to this day I wish I had those damn t-shirts.
Well, well, I used to, as a kid, go to Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and that Reese's peanut butter cup T-shirt is like one of the most like iconic, amazing things I've ever seen. This orange, like in Hershey orange, in Reese's orange. I mean, it's just like, you know, I mean, and you know, I think about when I'm out and about and I'm, you know, when I'm traveling or when I'm at my local farmer's market or wherever I'm doing, like, and if I'm going, you know, to the market or wherever, like swag is kind of everywhere. And really good swag. Like I was in
Yeah.
Spain in October, and like some of my favorite things were what the things that I picked up at the art museums and at actually at the one of the butcher's markets. There was a white tote with artwork and a red handle, and I think I bought like 8 of them because I couldn't have enough of these things.
Oh,
Like it doesn't. There you go.
my
There
girlfriend
you
picked this
go.
up for me in London, and everyone in Europe, it's like this like easy dum tote, but everyone in
Yeah.
London is carrying this bag. And
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, curious, I'm just going to say this right now, Michael, because I know you're listening. Michael, you need to do your quotes on bags or t-shirts. Curious or Curious is a store in Hermosa, and
I
my friend
know it well. I love them.
my friend Michael has a store in New York,
Okay.
and I'm right now tripping on their name because I just realized I screwed it up. But both of their stores, but for my friends in New York, Michael needs to do. He has a quote every day they put out on the board, and they put it out like. And he also does all these quotes that his customers like come in and say things. And it's like, you know, 30-year-old customer, I'm not buying this. It's too expensive, or whatever the quotes are from customers. I swear to God, Michael, you need to do these on bags.
No, and I love it. And there's one bag that I'm obsessed with, and it's this enormous, enormous bag. And it doesn't have a gusset, so it's really a flat bag, but it's such an enormous piece of like of canvas that you could like make such bold statements,
Yes,
oversized, quirky, bold, just like your London bag. There's so many things that can be done graphically with words,
it's
you know,
Michael.
and it can live on other things too. I mean, I was just sourcing. What I was looking for you. I just found these amazing Japanese teacups that look like little tiny paper cups. They're
Oh,
little porcelain cups that you
cute.
could put some of these like saying. I mean, there's so many things and so many like products out there that can be reworked with your own imagination. I mean, it's
It,
really There's some
I
good
have to
stuff.
correct myself since it is Michael in cursive. This is what happens when you get to be this age. Like, and stores that have like close names, and I'm friends with both stores. Like, I get so tongue tied, and I totally so. Michael, I'm sorry, but it's cursive in New York, and
Cursive in New York.
I mean,
Okay.
I swear that's the one store I can think of for sure doing something like this, because their branding is so good, and they're so known for their quotes of this like A-frame board that's on the sidewalk. It's like, I just feel like this needs to be
But
something.
how fun would that be? I mean, like so fun. I mean, it could also be journals I mean, there's things you can do where, journals that have, different pages have different things on it. You can literally, it's so different than it used to be. I mean, yes, you can slap a logo on pretty much anything, but you add your own creativity to it and you make it your own. And a whole other business.
So,
And it's your own profits. And
yeah.
trust me, I wholesaled. I wholesaled. Majority of my business was wholesale and not direct to consumer. And I mean, it's important, that sort of symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
But there's also something about having your own merchandise and celebrating your own business's personality and individuality, which is awesome.
That's to me where I think it's like it's your product. It's in a world that everybody's fighting over the lines that everyone wants, to create your own and have it be something where people are walking down the street with it. To me, that's where I get like super excited about it. So I know people are going to ask about timeline. What does it look like from point of meeting with you and talking with you and when it starts like finalized on art, how long is production, so people understand?
Well, production can be days, depending on what we're producing and who is producing it. I mean, we've seen some pretty quick turnarounds. When we're dealing with manufacturers, like with Brit and those cushions, each one was custom cut. So you're looking at you're potentially looking at a 4, maybe 6 week turnaround if you're doing like actual production.
And they also have 1,000 units too, so it wasn't, or something like that. It wasn't a small quantity too. So
no, that was not a small quantity. But also some of it is, if you've got your art files and I don't have to edit them or tweak them or do anything like that. Now that's also, those things are sort of built into, the work that I do. Like it's not like you come to me, you give me your list and I just hand you, products, you say, okay. And then I walk away and wait for it to be shipped to you. So I take people through the entire process
which has been great, because you'll let me know when stuff's being delivered or it's out for delivery. I've known every stretch of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've liked about this is it's more like a partnership. Like, I'm still the buyer, I'm still curating the collection, but you take the production and then you see the production through all the way to the point of delivery. And if there's something wrong or damage or whatnot, you handle that as well, just as you would if you were working with any other manufacturer. And that's the difference of working with you versus China, is that when it comes to China, like I'm dealing with somebody on WhatsApp and freaking emails of trying to get answers on, like, I gotta, but what I didn't realize is that when it gets loaded onto a boat from China, you have a tracking number. You don't know where it is until it hits the States. So there's weeks where like, what is happening? And you have no idea. And the only person that can check on it, and they can't even give you a straight ETA, is the manufacturer. And if the manufacturer is not responding, which is what happened, it's like it turns into this very nerve-wracking experience. And then you get it there and God forbid there's something wrong, sending it back to China is not really an option. It is, but the cost of it, that's to me what has been so great about dealing with you and like this coming out of the States, is you've literally taken the whole entire process and you've taken care of it, and it's been like, it's my product, but you're the manufacturer. And I guess that's a good way to think about it.
Well, and I just did a production run in glassware that was overseas. And my first order came in and it was trashed. It was like, it looks like somebody just threw it on the truck.
Ooh.
And got in touch with the manufacturer and sent them pictures. And not only did they redo the order, they don't want anything back, redid the order, packed everything so beautifully, literally, like they're like, this will never happen again, walked through the whole process, and they expedited it, and they sent that as well as another order that I had placed with them. So it's like, I handle all of that. I take all the ick as well as all the good stuff. Again, I mean, to me, it's problem solving, and I really enjoy that part of it. But also to your question earlier, like how long will something take? A lot of it is, how quickly, somebody can work with me and make decisions. The faster somebody says to me, yes, this is approved, I love this, here's your artwork, all of those kinds of things, the faster they'll have it. I mean, we can obviously work with deadlines, but it's, to be able to have the luxury of being able to have all the tools and materials at hand always makes things go much, much faster.
I will say this is that the more people you have involved in this process, the longer it takes. I do not suggest having a committee decide on some of these things, because I've learned I sent stuff off to Lucy's, and I was like all excited about it. And it was, everybody has a different, and finally the owner was like, just do it. Like, you don't need to send it to us. Like, just do it. Like, that's why we hired you, handle it yourself, which was great, because it's like decision by committee is not really ideal. And especially when it's your own product. Like if you have somebody that you work with, an assistant, a manager, whatever, that you trust, and you guys are on the same page, but really when you're working with you really need to have a defined idea of what you want to do and what you want it to look like. And like I said, once you start seeing it in this like vision board presentation, it's very easy to be like, I love this, or this is weird. And what's been great again is like you sent me out some things, and it was like, I'm not sure about that, or the cost of that's too much, let's take that away. And each time you send me back these vision boards of what because to me, again, it's all about the collection, that you keep sending me back a vision. This is it without these items. And it's like, okay, so I feel like we need something else then. It's been so lovely to be able to work with you. And I think that's so much why I wanted to have you on here, because of the experience I'm having. And because, like I said, a while ago was saying, like, this is such a great opportunity for retailers, and don't think about it as promo giveaway stuff. Think about it as creating your own little pop-up shop. And that's, I think, is the way to think about this, is that it's your product. You're going to be the manufacturer of your own item, and you make it easy, and you take away all the, like, what do I do? And how many people, like that has been the greatest gift.
And it also doesn't have to be logo forward. Like you were talking about the quotes. It can be your tagline. It can be where your store is located. It can be the address. It can be the zip. Like, there's so many other ways. And then you can give a nod to your brand. There's other ways. It doesn't always have to be a logo. There's other things that you can do to celebrate your community or your customers or your address. There's other things. So that's also something to take into consideration. And yes, I'm always happy to help develop any materials and artwork that is needed. That's something that I'm always happy to do. And also, it's just, there's no extra charge for that.
That was my next thing. Was like, what does this cost? How does
it's part of the cost of doing business is, that I have X number of hours in a day, and I love doing this. It's for me, it's, a joy, and it takes me away from looking at the news or anything like that all the time. And I feel really blessed and lucky to be able to work with people like you and some of my other clients. But this stuff takes time. And so, if people want me to do the development, I'm happy to work with people on that. And again, there's no additional fees with that. If I was to create from start to finish an entire, collection using my own developed art, that would be, a conversation to be had. But it's all really reasonable, and it's actually built into the cost of products, so that when you place an order, And we go back and forth, and I work with the different manufacturers domestically or overseas or whatever, and I get the pricing and the costs of the shipping. Sometimes it's built in, sometimes it's not. The art preparation, what they need to do with the setup fees and things like that. A lot of times with the reorder, the prices come down. But that's all built in. So you
So
don't,
everyone knows that what like the built-in price, it's not built-in, but the setup cost is the setup of the screen or the
yes,
embroidery
yes,
programming, and
yes,
that's a one-shot cost that you're going to
yes.
look at in the beginning, and then everything after that you don't have that.
Yes, and sometimes there's a lower cost for doing reruns and things like that. But again, these are not my costs. These are not the way I make my income is through working with the manufacturers and things like that. So it's sort of like doing a product development where you're not putting me on retainer. You're not writing me, a check for my time and my hours. It's all built in to the work that I do. So it's all built into your cost of goods.
And do people pay you a deposit and then the balance due after? How does the financial part of it work?
Well, in an ideal world, when I put in the PO, people then will pay me. And also it helps when I invoice on time, because manufacturing, you just have to pay up front.
Yeah.
And so, I especially until I have a relationship with somebody, I don't always like to cover their expenses for their products.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful if, it becomes sort of that kind of relationship. So if I'm paying for the the production, that I can then have my invoices paid on or about the same time.
It's been you've made it very easy. I will say that. How do people find you?
Well, they can find me through my website, which is swagtoriches.com. And I'm Sara at swagtoriches.com for my email address. They can find me through you.
I will make sure we have the links in the show notes to get a hold of you as well.
Yeah.
And then Instagram?
But it's fun. Hopefully it's fun for the people I work with to work with me, and they get excited to be able to see what the possibilities and the ideas are. And they shouldn't be afraid to actually put their businesses, out there on product. I mean, they invite people into their, retail spaces, like inviting people into their homes. Like it's now having people be able to walk away with product that represents that. And you want people out on the streets.
It's been such a fun. I can't wait for people, because it's honestly like I've leaked it a little bit through Instagram and people are asking me about it. So I was like, okay, we need to have you on here. How do people, and you're on Instagram now.
I am.
You were not before I made you.
I know. It's like the shoemaker's kids who don't have any shoes. I am my own worst marketer and my own worst promoter. I like being behind the scenes, but yes, you're right. I have to put myself out there too. So
people want to find you. Everything is word of mouth these days. So, and it's all, it's Swag to Riches is 2 spelled out, or is it just the number?
It's swag and then TO, swag to riches.
And that's your Instagram as well. Swag to.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Sara, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited for this. And like I said, it's been such a pleasure to create these brands with you. And it makes me want to do it for everybody. So I hope everyone is equally as excited as I am about it, because it's been truly a pleasure.
Well, I cannot even begin to tell you how much I appreciate your support, and you've been one of my biggest cheerleaders from Sisters of Los Angeles till now, and I am so grateful for you and your talent.
For those who know the LA Mart, Sara's office and my office used to be next door to each other, so we go way back with each other. So it's so lovely to be able to have this opportunity.
Yes, we do, for sure. I'm glad we do.
Thank you so much.